If you're looking for a well-rounded three-row family crossover in America, it's pretty hard to beat the Kia Telluride. When the company launched this vehicle 2 years ago, it became an instant hit with American families because of its boxy, Range Rover-like design, an interior that is packed full of a ton of space and luxurious accommodations, and in typical Kia fashion, it gave you a ton of technology at a really strong price, all wrapped around a killer warranty. So if you guys are in the market for a new three-row family crossover, how does the 2022 Kia Telluride continue to stack up? Stay tuned to find out. So the Kia Telluride has only been around for a couple of years. It's not quite ready for a refresh just yet. However, for 2022, Kia did make a couple of small changes on the outside and on the inside. But let me first take you along the outside of the vehicle and we can talk about some of the changes that Kia has made. Now, as we approach the front end of the new Telluride, the first thing you're going to notice right away, of course, is that new Kia logo that's in the center. This is the new logo that they started introducing on some of their 2022 models, and this is the Telluride, the 2022 Telluride. That's how you can basically tell that this is a 2022 model year because of that new logo. I really like the new Kia logo. I love the finish that it's in. It's got kind of this like metal-like look to it. It definitely looks more premium versus the old logo. You can see Telluride is still boldly spelled out at the front of the vehicle on the hood, and it's why this car kind of gives people almost like Range Rover, Cadillac Escalade vibes. The squared off shape is really one of my favorite styling features of this vehicle, and it's why I prefer it over its sister car, the Hyundai Palisade. Now, sadly, for those of you who buy the lower end of the Telluride, you still have to deal with halogen projector headlights. This SX version comes with these amber illuminated daytime running lights. And you also have an LED turn signal, and you have LED low and high beams, and then you can see down here you also have LED fog lights. Now, Kia did expand the availability of the LED headlights onto the EX model if you guys spec for the premium package. It's nice that they did that. However, for those of you who got the lower trims, you still have to deal with halogens, and I think at this price point, Kia should just throw in the LEDs as standard. A lot of the competitors offer LED headlights as standard, so it's a little disappointing to see that Kia still does not. Now, of course, this is built off of a unibody platform, and it's the largest vehicle that Kia continues to offer at around 197 inches long, 114-inch long wheelbase. Bigger than something like the Toyota Highlander and Honda Pilot, but a little bit smaller than something like the Ford Explorer and the Chevrolet Traverse. The wheels you can see on my SX model, these are the same black finish 20-inch wheels riding on 245 50 width tires. Kia does offer a new black wheel if you guys go for the Nightfall package, which my tester does not have. You can get the Nightfall package on the SX and the EX. It'll essentially black out give you a different wheel. It'll black out the grille at the front, and it'll black out all the chrome that you see on the side of the vehicle, which I highly recommend, especially if you guys want it in the snow white pearl. It's a really great color combination. Now, this particular one here is an everlasting silver. It's not my particularly favorite color. It's actually a little bit more gray versus silver. You can see with the silver roof rails here, this would look better if it was black. My tester also has, as you can see, a panoramic sunroof that's really nice to have, especially on the inside, which I'll show you later. It'll brighten up the cabin, and then you can see at the back, nothing really has changed back here. You still have the same LED tail lights. The turn signal is LED, but not the reverse light. As you can see here, the Kia logo is boldly spelled out. This is the new logo along with the Telluride badge at the back. And I do think that the Palisade sometimes looks better from the rear angle for me, but I do like how the Kia's taillights are a full LED design except for the reverse lights, and then you have the signature chrome exhaust tip underneath, although it would have looked better with a full dual exhaust system. Now, opening up the cargo area, the Telluride continues to offer one of the largest cargo areas in this segment at just over 20 cubic feet of space with the third row seat up. If you want to fold down the third row seat, it expands it to about 46 cubic feet of space. And then if you fold down the second row seats as well, it expands it even further to around 79 cubic feet of space. So ton of room, a ton of practicality. And it's one of the reasons why this vehicle continues to be an excellent choice for a lot of families. So now that I've showed you guys the exterior of the 2022 Telluride, let's go ahead and hop into the inside and show you guys some of the small changes that Kia has made. You can see my SX model has the upgraded premium Napa leather. These seats are also heated and ventilated. They offer a 12-way power adjustment, which is great. And then you also have two-person memory seats, which is also nice. The materials on the door panel, you can see soft touch. You have that fake wood, aluminum trim, padded right here, and then lots of storage. It is hard touch plastic down there, but still, again, this really makes a great first impression. I probably would just go with a slightly different color. This black interior is a little bit too dark for my taste. Now, stepping inside, this vehicle has about 8 inches of ground clearance, so it makes for a really easy step-in height, which is nice. As I shut the door has a nice solid sounding thunk. So again, adding to that impression of quality. Here's the key fob for the vehicle. Kia did introduce this key on the Stinger a couple of years ago. It also includes remote start on the fob. Nice looking key, although Kia does not offer phone as a key as an option, which would be nice. The button to fire up the engine is right here, although the steering wheel kind of blocks your view from the driver's seat. You can see starting the vehicle up, this car does have a heads-up display. You do have a 7-inch information display there in the center, but you also have a traditional look to the analog gauges with a traditional speedo and tachometer. The Palisade does offer a fully digital display, which Kia sadly still does not offer. The 10.25-inch display here is now standard. Before, Kia used to offer a smaller 8-inch display, but now you get the widescreen display as standard, which is nice. It includes Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but it is not wireless. You can also expand this out to take up the whole screen. I have it on the split screen view right now, which I actually like because you can put your audio information over there. This display itself, I think, looks good, although with so much of a black bezel right here, I think Kia could expand this to include a 12-inch display. They just introduced that on the new Carnival. Perhaps Kia will do that and add a digital display whenever they refresh this car in the next couple of years. Now, in terms of the materials, as I mentioned earlier, the door panels are good. The dashboard also has a soft touch injection molded plastic with the fake stitching. This wood does actually look really convincing, but as soon as you touch it, you can feel that it's a plastic design. You can see over here metal accented buttons. All of it looks really nice. You have dual zone climate control. You have big knobs, of course, for your volume and your tuning and for your climate. You have heated and cooled seats, like I said right here, which has a really high quality tactile feel to the controls. Heated steering wheel, which is also pretty nice. More metal buttons here on the steering wheel. And then the window controls, all 4 of them are one-touch automatic. They also feel really premium. I really like that. You have power folding mirrors, which is nice on a vehicle that's pretty wide. A few more buttons over here to control some of your driver assistance features. And then the steering wheel, you can see, is a tilt and telescoping adjustment, so you can really find a comfortable driving position nicely. I also like how Kia uses a 4-spoke wheel. This is kind of where I like to rest my hand on longer trips. The steering wheel, you can see, has the new Kia logo with the airbag cover that is not stitched, but it has the fake stitching on it. The horn sounds pretty typical. It's about what I expected for a vehicle in this size. And then you can see over here, the dash is hard touch plastic down here, which do have some genuine stitching along the center console right here with some leather trim, which is nice. I also like these grab handles. Over here, you can see there's a wireless phone charging pad, and then this controls the 8-speed automatic. When I put the vehicle into reverse, you can see there's the full top-down 360 camera with very good resolution and graphics. It also has rear cross traffic braking, rear cross traffic alert, and the screen itself, I like how it takes up the entire display when you guys have the full 360 camera. Now, of course, I've shown you guys this infotainment before. There's nothing really new to report about it. It does have built-in GPS, of course, and there's the Kia navigation system. It's nothing super special, but it is quick and snappy. Most of you are just going to use the CarPlay anyways. Passenger Talk is an intercom system that projects your voice into the back seat. They took that, of course, from the Kia minivan, but I believe the Telluride already had that feature anyway, so maybe it was the other way around technically. This infotainment system is really easy to use. It doesn't offer over-the-air updates, but it does have a really nice size display, and the graphics are also fine. So not really many complaints there. I just want Kia to expand this and give us a 12-inch display. Over here on the center console, you can see drive mode selector is over here. There's like a comfort, sport, smart, and then an eco and a snow mode. Electronic parking brake is over here. You have an auto hold feature. You have cup holders, a lot of piano black plastic trim right here. Nice and padded area here for the armrest or for the center console. And then if you open this up, you can see pretty decent sized storage. Well, there's a USB port over there, another USB port over there, and as you can see, there's also a wireless phone charging pad. The seats are pretty comfortable and supportive. I like the upgraded leather. I like how they're heated and cooled. The passenger seat also is power. And then you can see the glove compartment. It's a bin style. It's damped and it's lined with felt. Above me, you can see really nice high quality material on the headliner. You have full LED lighting in the cabin. And then you have a pano roof, although the pano roof has a nice area here that kind of doesn't give it a full glass effect, but it is over the second row seats. But overall, The interior continues to be one of the most spacious feeling. It continues to offer a ton of tech, and it also continues to offer really great visibility. So that's one of the reasons why so many buyers really like this car. Moving to the second row and third row, the Telluride offers one of the most spacious cabins in the segment, especially in the second row. Kia says there's about 42 inches of legroom back here. 42 inches is definitely more than some of its competitors, and you can also recline the seats. These captain's chairs are included on the SX trim, although you can get a bench which would expand the seating capacity to 8. This one here obviously only seats 7. Although it's nice because some competitors don't sit 3 across in the third row. Now, these seats are heated and ventilated. That's a really unexpected feature, and Kia was one of the first to do that. You can see here the button to do that is right here. This is part of the SX Prestige package. The Hyundai sibling also offers the same thing. You also have a manual rear seat sunshade back here, which is also nice. And then the materials, you can see soft touch injection molded plastic, more of that fake wood, and then a leather accented area over here. Now, as I get inside the second row, this is really, really nice. Shutting the door, this has basically the same amount of legroom as the front, which is also great. You have rear seat cup holders are back here. You have 2 USB charging ports, which is nice. And then you can see here your rear seat climate controls are actually here on the roof, where you can adjust the temperature just for the rear seat area. It doesn't actually have 4-zone climate control, but that's kind of what I expected in this segment. Down here, you can see there is a traditional power outlet, and then you have a 12-volt power outlet over here. And then for those of you who want to open up this area right here, the actual button to do that is over here on the top portion. You actually have to push that little knob there. I'm surprised Kia doesn't give you an option to open up the sunshade from the rear seat, so you have to ask the front seat passenger to do that. But once you do that, you can see it lets in a ton of light. Now, getting back here into the third row, you can obviously get through the side over here, but there is a button on the top of this seat right here. If you push that button, you can see the seat kind of moves forward. It's not electric, but it is spring loaded, and it does offer a good amount of room to get back here. Now, let me get back here and show you guys this space. You can see in terms of legroom, Kia says there's about 31 inches of legroom back here. So this is with the seat all the way back. My knees are, as you can see, are up against the seats. You can ask the passenger here to move the seat forward, which they can do that because there is a ton of space. That'll give me more room at 5'7". I could sit back here, although 3 across is going to be a little tight because the Telluride's body isn't quite as wide as it should be. Materials back here are hard touch plastic, but you do have rear seat air vents. You do have a USB charging port on both sides, and you still have the same high quality feeling leather. So again, if you want a third row that can fit adults, average size adults, the Telluride is one of those vehicles. Same thing with the Palisade. Now, underneath the hood of the 2022 Telluride, things also haven't changed. You still have just one engine choice, which is a little bit confusing and disappointing because I would like to see Kia offer an electrified option. But regardless, if you guys want a naturally aspirated V6, this is one of the best ones that you can find. And as you can see, this is the company's largest V6. It's a 3.8 liter naturally aspirated direct injection V6. It has gasoline direct injection. It does make 291 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. So pretty good numbers. It's pretty class competitive. It all goes out through an 8-speed automatic transmission. That is a Kia design transmission. And then you can take your pick between either front-wheel drive or an active on-demand torque split all-wheel drive system. Tellurides are relatively efficient, although they could be better if it was electrified. It's rated at 19 in the city, 24 on the highway. This vehicle is rated to tow a maximum of 5,000 pounds. So again, it's right there, kind of at the top of the segment. And 0 to 60 performance, you should expect that in the 7-second range. We'll test that out since I have my 0 to 60 testing equipment. And Tellurides are relatively heavy vehicles, but not any heavier than its competitors. As this one sits, this fully loaded SX with all-wheel drive comes in and it weighs at just under 4,500 pounds. So 2 years ago when I was in Telluride, Colorado, and I first had a chance to drive the Kia Telluride, I knew that the company had a winner on their hands. I mean, this and the Palisade are 2 of my favorites, but I definitely still prefer the Telluride just because I like the exterior styling of this vehicle a lot more. It's one of the reasons why it sells so well, and currently Kia is ahead of its Hyundai sibling in terms of sales because people just really want this SUV, and it's all very well justified because of how good this car is. Now that I have the car for a full week to test, this is the not even refreshed one. They just put a new emblem on the front. But now that I have 0 to 60 testing equipment, I want to see what this vehicle can do in terms of performance. So I have it in sport mode. I shut off the traction control. This is the all-wheel drive version. All right, and that run got me 0 to 60 in 6.6 seconds, which is really not bad at all. This 3.8 liter naturally aspirated V6 delivers solid performance, and for those of you who don't want a CVT, you're going to love this engine and transmission combination. It's smooth, it's refined, it makes a good noise. This vehicle still feels really easy to drive, even though the Telluride is one of the bigger options out there, and it's a nice, big box. It still very much drives like a car, and that's the reason why this vehicle is so successful. People just love the overall package that Kia gives you with this vehicle, and it's all very, very well-rounded. In fact, I actually still think that these are one of the best driving vehicles in the segment. But you know what? I want to go ahead and just do one more run and see if I can get something similar. No wheel spin with all-wheel drive, of course. No launch control, but this thing does well to brake torquing. And that run I got 7.17 seconds. So right around 7 seconds, 6.8 seconds, 0 to 60, which I think is perfectly acceptable. This is not the quickest SUV in the segment. You're gonna find better performance out of the Subaru Ascent with its 2.4 liter turbo. I believe the Mazda CX-9 is also slightly quicker, and so is the Honda Pilot, but I mean, you're not gonna buy these vehicles to go drag racing in, but you just want them to have enough power to get you and all of your stuff in this vehicle up to speed. If you plan to tow heavy loads with it or have 7 people in the car regularly, it should be perfectly fine. Although when you load it up with that much people, you might notice the V6 is a little bit light on torque, but it's got a really smooth, quick shifting 8-speed automatic that does about its business without much fuss. So if you don't want a CVT, like in some competitors, you're gonna want this traditional stepped automatic. It's just a really nice overall package. And then just driving the vehicle normally, I'll go here into the smart mode. No adaptive dampers and no air suspension, but that's kind of what you expect. This is a mainstream family car still, of course. But the Kia's ride is very agreeable. Visibility is also really good because this is a box. I can see out of the front really well. I've got these nice size side mirrors. The Kia DriveWise package does come standard. My tester also has blind spot monitoring. It also adds that blind view camera. So what that means is if I come up to an intersection or whatever, if I turn on the turn signal, it shows me what's in my blind spot on the left or the right side, depending on the signal, which side signal that I have on, and it shows it to me in that little center display. Now, the Palisade does have one up over this vehicle because it's got the fully digital display. It just looks a little bit more modern, but that's kind of a small gripe. I was hoping Kia would add the fully digital display. They may do that with a refresh. This technically isn't a refresh. They just added the new Kia logo and they made the 10.25-inch display standard, which, by the way, there's a big black border around this bezel here. And I think that Kia could upgrade this to the 12-inch display that they have in the new Carnival. I think that would be great to get rid of this black real estate plastic that's around the bezel. That's something that they may eventually do, of course, for the refresh. So that's all just something to keep in mind. Kia is obviously going to continuously improve this vehicle. As it is right now, however, it's still really good. I love the overall package that the Telluride gives you. And the all-wheel drive system is of the torque vectoring variety. It's an active on-demand all-wheel drive system. It's one of the better ones in the industry. I actually like this little display here that shows you where the torque is going, the power split, so it actually can show you which wheel and which side is getting more of the torque. The seats are also really comfortable in this car. They're nice and wide, really accommodating for somebody who has a wider frame. They don't really hug you, obviously, but that's not the point of a vehicle in this segment. The leather also feels nice and soft. They're heated and cooled seats, of course. The heads-up display is also a nice thing to have. Of course, you get that with the Prestige package. And the vehicle is also pretty quiet on the inside. Even though this is a box, Kia has stuffed this thing with lots of sound deadening materials. And on the highway, it's such a comfortable car. I mean, I've driven this and the Palisade on longer trips where I drove them up to New York and Boston, which is like a 5-hour drive, 7-hour drive from my area. And they're just really great. I mean, you can load this up with 5, 6 people and all of their crap, and it's so comfortable. And that's one of the reasons why Americans love this. This is why I'm calling this the most wanted family SUV in America, because it's just so well-rounded. And in terms of fuel economy, this is where Kia could improve. In my week's worth of testing, it averages about 18 mpg in the city, and then on the highway, it'll do about 23 to 25 miles to the gallon, depending on how light you're gonna be with the throttle. You can do better than that. I'm just not the most economical driver with my right foot. but I've seen, you know, some people report as high as 29 mpg in their vehicles. So it is, of course, all very, very good. I do want Kia to eventually expand the powertrain options. Let's see a plug-in hybrid or a hybrid model, something that, you know, improves the fuel economy even more. But, you know, this is still a wonderful choice for those of you who must just have a traditional internal combustion engine car, because it handles well, it rides well, it's comfortable, it's quiet, it's got lots of tech. It feels like a premium car, even though this isn't a premium vehicle. Although with the new Kia logo, I really like the vibe that I'm getting here looking at the steering wheel as opposed to looking at the cheap old logo. But overall, very much still impressed. Even though there's so much new competition out there, this one is still definitely my favorite out there if you guys are looking for a family SUV. So just like the Hyundai Palisade corporate twin, after spending a week with the 2022 Telluride, this is an extremely comfortable and well-rounded three-row family SUV. It's got a ton of space on the inside. It's got a ton of technology on the inside. It's got an interior that also feels very premium, despite the fact that this is not a premium vehicle. And really, in my eyes, there is simply no better choice here. I mean, yes, you could get more well-established rivals like the Honda Pilot and the Toyota Highlander, but those just aren't quite as good for me. They just don't look as good. They don't offer that kind of cool factor. And although the Highlander does offer the hybridized factor, I would like to see Kia offer that. They eventually, I think, should and will offer an electrified option for this vehicle. Really, if you guys want something that has a ton of room, a ton of technology, a lot of style, it still turns a lot of heads, this is still one of my favorites, and it's for those reasons. Now, of course, those of you who are looking to buy one of these vehicles, the market is speaking because Kia dealers continue to charge well over sticker for this car. Even though it's been on sale for 2 years already, trying to find these on dealer lots along with the Hyundai Palisade has continued to be a challenge which also has been made worse by the chip shortage because of the global pandemic. But really, it's all justified because this is still one great vehicle, and it also starts at an attractive price if you can find it for MSRP at around $32,700 for the base LX version. Now, of course, most of you are probably going to want to step it up to the EX trim. That's around $37,000. The SX model that I'm driving, stickers for around $43,000. All-wheel drive is going to cost you about $2,000. My tester has a premium package for an extra $2,000. All in with destination, my tester is just under $50,000 at $49,000. That does sound like a lot of money, but keep in mind, most of the fully loaded options are also going to be right around $50,000. That's just where the market is headed because of all the new technology. But really, if you guys have that money to spend and you want something that's going to be the perfect family vehicle for your family, this is still one of my absolute favorites, and it's why the Telluride continues to be one of the most wanted vehicles. In terms of sales, Kia is on track to doing nearly 100,000 of these for 2021, just as long as the factory that builds these vehicles can continue to push them out, because everybody still is trying to get their hands on this vehicle. But with all that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview on the 2022 Kia Telluride. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.